Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Daily Dose TV. I'm covering this week's Days of Our Lives from Monday, March 6th to Friday, March 10th. That's right. And that would have been yesterday. Okay, so what's going on in Salem? All kinds of stuff, as usual. We don't see much of the gals in heaven this week. You know, they're kind of on every other week schedule, it looks like. So, we got some things going on, though. Of course, as we left it last week, Lee and Gabby had moved in with Wendy, and as we see it, Trip. I'm starting to like Trip a little bit more. Still not so much on Wendy. Anyway, Lee cooks breakfast for Gabby for their first morning after their first night there in their new place. And he makes plans for them to do things, to go to the lake and see the baby ducks and blah, 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 blah. She was very hesitant, you know, she really don't want crap to do with him, but she is now entered into this legal contract with her and stuff, so she is obligated, you know, to do some things, but you know, not everything. She reluctantly agrees to go do some things with him. I mean, what the hell, you know. And then she gets a phone call and says, does she get the phone call, or she acts like she gets a phone call that she has to go and take care of something at Ariana's school, something about her vaccination records, getting to her new school and stuff. Just totally believable. And it was a lie. She went to the park and did what? She went to the park and called her man. Park. She told him to meet her at the park. So, of course, you know, he heads off to the park. But first, he is having drinks with Nicole and EJ. Or was it coffee? I think it was more than coffee. And Nicole switched the coffee cups because they were having some kind of meeting that day, and they wanted him to be all messed up for the meeting. But Gabby called him and told him to meet her in the park, and he had to skip out on that meeting. I'm not sure all that happened on Monday, but the first part did anyway. Chloe is back in town. We see Chloe and Sean come back on the scene, of course, and my mind's just running with the things that have happened this week instead of reading in order little notes of things that I wrote down. I'm not wanting to go by my notes. Yeah, Chloe and Sean, they caught up a little bit in the square. Okay, so Gwen and Xander and Leo are just having some daggone fun with this paper. And the headlines for Monday's headlines were the brothers Grimm get arrested, and that is, of course, they're talking about Brady and Eric for, you know, kidnapping Stefan DiMera, and, you know, brainwash. So they're both in jail, by the way. Belle, Sean, and Chloe are back this week in the festivities, and Belle, of course, goes down to the jail. So look at the two of you, you know, talking about Eric and Brady, because they are both her brothers, and she's just so ticked off with him. You know, she's going off on Brady. You know, what were you thinking? She's going off on Eric. And he's like, Belle, I'm glad you could, and Eric's saying, I'm glad you put things aside. And, because, you know, last week he went on a drunk binge, got arrested, and punched Sean, her husband, in the face, and him and Belle were not on the best of terms, so That's what he's telling her. I'm glad you put this aside and agreed to represent me. And she said, oh, I didn't agree to represent you. Are you kidding me? After you attacked my husband? No, you're on your own. And she's like, you shouldn't hold it against me and Brady, because of what I done. And she's like, well, I didn't say I wasn't going to represent Brady. I'm just not going to represent you. And I mean, honestly, man, she's a real bitch about it. She's just all bent out of shape because, Eric, who never gets rowdy, punched Sean in the face. He was being... Eric's got some problems, man. He lost his baby. Him and Jada broke up. Him and Nicole broke up. He's got problems, man. So, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so Belle's going off on him, man. And I thought she was a little rough. She was scolding him like she was their parent. And Eric even tried to tell her. He said, well, Mom would be appalled to find out that you wouldn't represent me. And she's like, how dare you bring Mom into this? How dare you? Oh, still we don't see nothing from Sammy or Carrie. Her mother died. They didn't come and throw a couple of sticks on the tombstone or anything. They're off probably shooting movies for peacock. Oh man, you would get that joke if you watched my previous video. Anyway, she's giving him the business, and he's, and Eric's telling her, you've got to be kidding, Belle, come on. And she's like, watch me, or something like that. So she tells the guard, I want to take Eric for a bail hearing, we need to let him out. And she left, she wanted to take Brady out for a bail hearing, and she left Eric in there. I'm getting confused. So that be what she did. She took Brady with her and left Eric sitting there. And he's down there with his little head between his legs in the jail cell. So Brady gets out. So meanwhile, Sloan was upstairs to make sure that Melinda Trask was going to throw the book at Eric Brady. He said he worked for me and he didn't. And then, Belle comes up and she's wanting to talk to Trask about Brady, and Sloan's like, where's Eric? She said, what about Eric? And Belle said, what about him? So Sloan already knew, the sister ain't going to represent him. Of course, Sloan is not speaking to Eric. She's done with him because he pretended to work for her and, got that contract or the statement to Rolfe to sign out of her bag. Or let Brady get it. He was helping his brother. So she goes down to visit Eric. And she's like, said something to him, and she's like, well, I asked your sister about you, and she said, I said, what about Eric? And she said, what about Eric? And she said, I'm just saying that means she's not going to represent you. And he said, assume away. So she said, seems like you need an attorney. And anyway, she ended up telling him she would represent him, and he said, well, I don't have a job, so I don't think I can afford you. Even though she's mad at him. I don't know if I want somebody mad at me representing me. But I've always said she's got a super little thing for Eric. A human touch. A human connection. That she doesn't have with all her other quests. Interactions, maybe I should say. So she ends up representing him. She tells him, well, maybe we can work something out and trade. She said, I can get you out, I can help you. So she goes to work her magic, on him. But before she went down there to talk to him, she was talking to Melinda Trask. Melinda was talking to her about her private life and how Lady Whistleblower, you haven't seen the latest edition of, what is that paper now? Oh, crap. It's not The Intruder. The Intruder's another paper. Oh, I can't think of it. Can't think of the name of that newspaper. But, I forgot what I was saying. So, anyway, she does get Eric out. Now, EJ and Nicole are busy with their little plan. They put their plan into action on Stefan. Nicole switched their coffees, like I said a little bit earlier. But the plan fails, because they were going to have a meeting when he runs away and says he just can't do it because Gabby called him and he has to see her. Because, he went to her place Friday and told her that he doesn't love Chloe anymore, but she couldn't talk because Big Kung Fu was standing behind her, watching her every move, listening to everything she says. So, he runs out, and it did affect him. The drugs are given back to him, but he didn't pick up on what was going on just yet. And that's about a wrap for Monday. Now on Tuesday, Tuesday I guess. Okay, that's when she gets the call on Monday. On Tuesday, they actually meet, Gabby and Stefan. And they have a plan to take over Demira Enterprise together. So they decided that Gabby should stay married to Lee until the 6 months is up, get the shares of Demira, and they are going to take over Demira Enterprises. And he told her about how he had been drugging EJ to get him kicked out of the CEO spot. So they got big plans for Demira, the Jakester, and Gabby. They were just meant to be together. They really are the perfect couple. Anyway, EJ overhears Nicole and EJ. Wait a minute. Johnny overhears EJ talking to Nicole about Stefan and about how that he's going to get him voted out or something. And Johnny questions him, and he tells Johnny pretty much what's going on, and tells Johnny to keep that lip zipped. Brady is talking to Chloe in the square where Rachel is with John right at the moment, and he's getting ready to bring her to meet Brady for lunch in the square. And she runs and she hugs Brady and stuff, and Chloe says, "Hi, Rachel," and Rachel just snaps on Chloe and says, "My daddy spent the night all because of you." She's questioning Brady and her about him being in jail, and it was because of her, and blah, 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 and she's the reason her mommy went away. She hates Chloe, and I think Chloe may be onto something. She keeps telling Brady that she doesn't think it can work between them because of the way Rachel feels about her, thanks to Kristen poisoning her mind. And I tend to agree with Chloe. I don't know that Rachel will ever come around. Unless, Chloe and Brady had a baby or something. She might be more inclined to warm up to Chloe if she's her sister's mother. I don't know. There was a lot of talking and stuff. They took up a lot of screen time with that little scenario. And I agree with Chloe. It's, as of right now, it doesn't look good for them. Rachel's never going to get over it. I don't care how bad Brady loves Chloe. Rachel's not going to let them be happy. And that kind of stuff matters. It just does. So, Chloe understands that. Brady doesn't. Woman, man. There's your answer. Alright. EJ goes to the office, and there's Johnny. He went to take Wendy to lunch, but he overhears them talking about him and the conversation he just had with Johnny and told him to zip it. He was shocked at that, and then told them both, although they tried to lie at it, that he overheard what they were saying. So he had to encourage them both to keep their lips zipped again. So as it's going off Tuesday, Lee, of course, he's busy. He's got a tracker on Gabby's phone, so he knows that she's at the park and not at Ari's school. Plus, he's already called Ari's school and confirmed that Gabby is not there, and there is no problem with her records. You know, I just can't stand the way he is trying to control her. Anyway, he goes to the park and he catches them kissing. And he's like, what's going on here? I think he said, what in the hell is going on here? Because that's usually what he says. And they go off for Tuesday. Wednesday, when it comes back on, Lee is standing there. And, you know, of course, they take back up where they left off. And Stefan's trying to tell him, you know, I was trying to get Gabby back, but she's honoring this stupid agreement you all got. And he's like, oh, really? I find that hard to believe. He found it hard to believe, but between Gabby and Stefan, they convinced this dumbass. So he was believing it, that Gabby chose, you know, look, I can't have anything to do with you at least for 6 months. So, but they're going to sneak around and see each other. They got big plans. They are a regular Bonnie and Clyde. Don't tell me you never heard of Bonnie and Clyde. So then we move on to Wednesday. Oh, we were already in Wednesday. Where Lee confronts them. EJ confronts Johnny and Wendy as well. And Sloan and Nicole face off. And I mean, it is ugly. Oh, yeah. Ugly. Oh, yeah. It's bad, man. It's so bad. So, Eric's out of jail. They're walking past the pub. Nicole's like, Eric. And he's like, Nicole. You know. And they're talking, and he's like, telling her that he got out. And she's like, well, good for Belle. And he's like, well, Belle wouldn't take my case. And she's like, oh, no. And he's like, no, my lawyer's Sloan. And she's like, Sloan? The girl that you just broke up with, Sloan? And Eric said, do you know any other Sloans? And I mean, she's right. Other than this character's name, Sloan, I never heard of Sloan for a first name. I like it, though. And it fits this character. But, they have their words, and she's like, you told me you were done with her, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I guess you could say we've made up. And she's like, what? And then in comes Sloan, and she's like, yeah, just what he said, we've made up. And she grabs Eric, and she's kissing on him and calling him honey and all kinds of crap. Sloan really marks her territory when her and Nicole are around, and she feels like she needs to, and she does. Now, if she's actually interested in Eric, and I believe she is, more so than just a friendly little friends with benefits, she's got them claws out. So I think they'd make a good couple, Sloan and Eric. I really do. He was too good, and he's pretending to be bad, and she's too bad, and she's pretending to be good. So they could mix that up. Anyway, that was kind of funny. Stefan and Gabby have a plan, like I said. Lee offers Gabby a way out. I guess he senses, thinking that she was lying to him, and he tells her, if you want out, you can get out right now. You know, she said no. She was sticking to it. She wanted the shares. She agreed to everything he said in the contract, and, you know, she wasn't going to, you know, let that go. But He's playing some head games now, but so is Gabby. You, you cannot get anything past Gabby. I have watched Gabby ever since her character developed on Days, from just a shy little girl, basically young girl, to a grown businesswoman. She has kicked butt. So, she deserves to get whatever she gets. So Thursday, this is ugly, what's going on in Cadillacs at Titan Enterprise. So Victor made Maggie the CEO because Leo called Victor and told him about Alex's little sex scandal. I agree with Alex. What does his sex life have to do with his business? But, it does. Things matter. How you act on your own time does matter. I'm sorry. So, it does. It does in real life, and it does in Satan. So, it's rough. Alex is sitting in Maggie's chair, and she comes in and says something to him, and she tells him, she don't like me sitting in her chair. Because he said, Sonny, never mind. And she said, well, I do. I don't want you sitting in my chair. Maggie is coming across as a super bitch CEO and boss, but it's really not as much that as she is establishing boundaries right off the bat. And she has dealt with enough curious men to know you better get them boundaries up, and you better get them up quick, or these boys going to run over you, especially in business dealings. So I think she's just making some pretty clear boundaries with Alex, but she seems like she's being a little rough on him, and I'm feeling a little sorry for the Alex. He lost Stephanie because he was stupid and jealous of nothing, and pretty much handed her to Chad. Here you go. But he's having it rough. He really is. I feel bad for him. I wish something good would happen for him. So, anyway, they butt heads, and they really butt heads again because they're butting heads over the details and stuff, and then they're butting heads because she is she's going to close down Bella Magazine. She says it's costing too much to run it, and it's not bringing enough money in. And Alex says, well, we're redoing it now, it's going to take off. It's my baby, Maggie. And she's like, we'll find someplace else for you. And he's like, where? So, poor Alex, suddenly he went from being CEO of a company to his personal project. He was in charge of Bella Magazine, and he was doing good with it. And, and he lost Stephanie, and things just kind of going down for Alex. Not down enough for him to go back to being West. Don't do it. Just say no. Like I said, because Alex isn't a bad guy at all. He really does try to do the right thing. So I don't like that he hates Chad so much, but I understand why he does. He blames Chad for his own shortcomings. So, Chad got the girl because he was stupid. So naturally he hates Chad. I would hate Chad too, more than likely, but I don't. I love Chad. I like Chad a lot. He got a little crazy this week, but I swear love just makes you stupid, don't it? So, that's been a big thing, the whole Titan, now Bella's going down. Jada's sister, Talia, not sure if her name's Natalia or just Talia. Talia or Taliana. I think it's Talia. I love that name, Natalia or Talia. They're both pretty. It's Jada's sister, and she's in town, and she's trying to get a job at the bakery with Chanel. Matter of fact, she's already applied and got an application. She's got to take it back, and Chanel is anxious to hire her, and in fact does hire her. So Jada's her sister, She's real glad to see her. She stops in the police station. She introduces her to Rafe, which, by the way, something's cooking like I said it was going to. Between Jada and Rafe, they got some kind of feelings going on. It's a percolating in the office, but Rafe's trying to put a stop to it. But I think they would make a good couple. So everything will get messed up because it's Salem. Nobody gets their happily ever after in Salem. They have to leave Salem on a boat generally. So anyway, or in a box. Jada's sister, yeah. And, well, what is that? Okay, so, Leo is sniffing around everybody's litter box because he just wants dirt to put in the magazine, which, by the way, the magazine, the stats came out and they sold more and more people are subscribing, and the first issue they put out was a hit, yay. You know, but most people are not happy for them for that because, you know, the way they acquired the paper and stuff. So, I was going to say something and I didn't, and it was something important. Okay, so Leo's going around trying to get the dirt, and he was bothering Chad, trying to get a statement from him about Alex not getting the CEO position. And then Stephanie came back and he said, well, I would rather just get it from you. And she said fine, and she told him, you know, that after careful consideration, you know, Victor decided that Maggie would be best fitted to be the CEO, blah, 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 blah. So then he starts asking Stephanie, did you know he had a threesome? Did you know all this stuff, you know? And she got mad and turned off his phone and just pushed him out. But in the middle of all that, Chad blurted out that Stephanie had broke up with him because she shut her phone off and didn't get to talk to her mother when her mother was dying. So that ticked Stephanie off a little bit. And that's okay, but she got over it and came back and apologized to Chad, and he was very apologetic as well. And there was something else going on. Oh my goodness, and I can't remember it. So anyway, didn't write it down. So let me look at my paper, see if that jolts my memory. There was some other stuff happening. What was it? Didn't write notes. I can't remember. Oh, I think I got it anyway. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're covering Survivor. We're going to be covering Big Brother when it comes on. That's what I started with on my other channel. So I'm trying to round up my subscribers from my other channel, and it's like they've fell off the face of the earth. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in Salem.